Welcome to Old Dog, Young Bull. Old school meets new wave as Joe Old Dog Mays and Charlie Young Bull Forrester deliver a multimedia discussion of all things sports. Now settle in as Joe and Charlie come strong here on Old Dog, Young Bull.
Welcome back to the Old Dog Young Bull podcast. We are shooting from the road. Mama D and I are in Flagstaff, Arizona. We are trying out all kind of new technology, and we got the young bull, Charlie Forrester, doing his thing.
Hello, hello.
All right. Well, we're getting all kind of experimentation going on.
Taking the pod on the road.
Yeah, we are. We've got we're working out the kinks here with this one, and then we've got a couple more that we got to do while we're on the road, probably from Las Vegas. So we are having all kind of fun.
Heck yeah.
Couple of things. Belated Happy Veterans Day. This is going to drop on what is today? Wednesday. Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday the 12th.
Jiminy Christmas. It's been a Wednesday. This will drop on Thursday, November 13th. At the kickoff of NFL Week 11, we got all kind of goodies to talk about this week. We went up Quarterback Mountain last week. We've got another surprise new feature coming up that the Young Bulls are going to bring us. So, got a little NBA news. I see you smiling, see you rocking the Mavs hat. What's your NBA news?
Yeah. It seems like finally Mavs ownership is listening to the fan base. Nico Harrison, of course, got canned yesterday. And yeah, it's a step in the right direction, but it's not bringing Luka back to the city. So there's a far ways to go.
Yeah, I still say that the Mavericks are going to be okay in the long term. I'm not sold on AD. He's just not on the floor enough. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'd like to tell you that's going to be a great fix, but it's not. However, I'm still all in on Cooper Flag. So, I
Yeah,
believe in the back.
it's going to be interesting to see if they tear it down and kind of rebuild around him. Because right now the age of the roster is definitely built around the AD Kyrie timeline, and yeah, a new GM might want to retool around Cooper, and I think that would be the most smart way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's going to be smart, just like they were trying to build around Luca. Sorry for the bounce, and I'm having to adjust the tripod. Just like they were trying to build around Luca. With him gone, I think they're going to have to take a step back, see what pieces fit Flag best. He's got to have a point guard, got to have somebody bring the ball up the floor every time. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Quite good
he
news.
has it, but he's of course sitting in street clothes right now with Kyrie. So
Yeah,
and they're right up there with the second apron. So cap flexibility, it's really going to be difficult to try to bring someone in with this right now roster. So there's a lot of finagling a new GM's going to do. And honestly, what GM would want to take the job right now? Because this is a very, very upset fan base. And it's going to be a hard battle to try to win them back because of course you trade away their beloved uh, franchise player who's in his prime.
Yeah, thing about it is though, a new GM coming in, it doesn't really matter who they bring in. That person will be more popular than Nico Harrison was in Dallas. So
The
there
bar's
is
not
that.
that high. Yeah, the
Yeah,
bar's not that high.
there is that. Um, yeah. So um, NBA season is rolling right along, and we'll continue to pick that up. We've just got a lot of football to talk about tonight. So we say we dive in and give it a look as we roll into
Yeah,
week
let's do
11
it.
past the
It's a
halfway
big
point.
it's a big week between our two favorite teams. So
Yes,
of course
yes,
we'll get to it. But Cowboys Raiders this week, so it's big time.
yeah. I love the fact that you've got a Raiders Charles Woodson
Yep.
behind you, and Dunbar from the Cowboys. You're
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these are the two. And little spoiler, Mama D and I are going to be at the game Monday night. We're quite excited about that. So yeah, we'll be carrying you in our heart, and we'll have to plan on one for next year. It just won't be the Raiders Cowboys next year.
Hey, you know what? There's no losers in this matchup, so uh, gonna go home happy at least. So
Yeah, some measure, some it's going to come out on balance. There's going to be a measure of disappointment and happiness, and of course, we'll get to our picks on them before we wrap up the episode. So apologize if I'm a little bit lagging. Not technology, my brain clicking in and out. It's been a it's been a interesting. It's been a long couple of days on the road, but that's okay. We are trying out some new technology with our Rode microphone. Rode, if you're looking for a podcast to sponsor, you know where to find us. Also, we have a water brand if you want to sponsor us. We got all kind of stuff. We're staying here at a franchise hotel, so yeah, we'll see if any of these folks will sponsor. In the meantime, even though we're not sitting at Patchouli Joe's, this episode is brought to you by Patchouli Joe's Books and Indulgences, of which Charlie is the owner and manager. Expand your mind and indulge your senses at Patchouli Joe's. And by the way, and I'm going to do something different this episode. I think I'm going to try and drop in the pictures of the store now that you've had the chance to get the Christmas decorations up. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to get those pictures into the podcast, because that is pretty baller what you've done. So
heck
anyway,
yeah. Halloween ends, Christmas begins. So Thanksgiving is nothing but a time to watch some good football, eat some good food, but of course the Christmas spirit in the retail world is alive and well.
yeah, absolutely. And you and I, that's our favorite time of year. Anyway, irrespective of the retail side and irrespective of the store, we both just love Christmas. So that's one of the many things we have in common.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, diving in real quick, just a quick rundown on the division leaders. There haven't been any changes in the AFC. We've got the Patriots at 8-2 leading the East. Steelers at 5-4, somehow hanging on to the North, but Baltimore is starting to make a move. I think they've won 3 in a row.
Yep.
So they're making their move. The Colts are still at 8-2 in the South, and Denver takes the outright lead at 8-2 in the West. As we look at if the playoffs started today, we would have 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs. And yeah, so just kind of what we expected. Wait a minute. Sorry, I scratched that. 2. The
Two.
Chiefs are on
Yeah.
the outside looking in. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Which
So they,
the big surprise, of course, is sitting in the East. You got New England kind of pulling away from Buffalo as Buffalo is still trying to find their footing, struggling on the road, and just not looking as dominant as they normally do. And New England, uh, yeah, under Drake May and Mike Vrabel, they are cooking with bacon grease.
I love what Vrabel is doing. The one thing that's been consistent coming out of Foxborough is obviously he came out and played for Belichick, so he holds his players accountable. There's no ambiguity. He's direct, but he unlike Belichick, he's extraordinarily focused on the people behind the players, behind the jerseys. There was
Mhm.
a whole conversation with Drake May where uh, Vrabel came over after he'd thrown a pick and was kind of cheering him on, looking in the eyes, say, "Yeah, we can't have that. We need you to be a leader. We need you to step up." Um, but cheering his guys on. And the one thing coming out of Foxborough is that all of the players seem to have that same sense from Vrabel that he's a player's coach, even though he holds them really tightly accountable. So yeah. Anyway, he's doing a hell of a
Yeah.
job.
And it's quite the 180 between him and Belichick, because Belichick, of course, was kind of the old curmudgeon walking around, Not getting too close with the players, keeping them at arm's length and really being assertive. And Vrabel's kind of coming in, still holding them to a high standard, but like you were talking about, being more understanding and motivating than being kind of a hard ass.
Yeah, but he's turned things around in that locker room up in New England, and yeah, they are riding high at 8-2. Right now, the Colts own the tiebreaker over Denver because of head-to-head win in week 2. And the Patriots are sitting at the 3 seed right now, but they're still, obviously a lot of ball to play yet. But yeah, New England seems to be not messing around.
Yeah,
Denver,
yeah.
I have to say, and when we get to the picks, it's a little bit wonky. Denver sitting at 8-2, but they just barely beat the Raiders 10-7. Ugly game last week. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure those. Not all 8-2s are created equal. I think New England, Indianapolis, and Denver are not the same when it comes to the eyeball test.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, Denver's offense. If they stay atop of the division, it's going to be because of the defense, because that offense is very hit or miss. One week they look putrid, the next week they look like a playoff contending team, but they're carried by a strong defense. And unlike New England, which is carried by kind of a stronger offense than defense, but Indianapolis is kind of just well rounded. They got definitely a top 5 unit defensively, and then offensively, arguably the best run game in the game. So, um, yeah,
Yeah,
not all 8-2s are alike. I would definitely agree with you there.
yeah. So that's the AFC is going to be fun down the stretch. The NFC, we have got the Eagles are kind of coasting in the East at 7-2. Second place in that division is the Cowboys at 3-5-1. So I really things would have to dramatically change for the top of the East to change hands. Um, Cowboys still have a chance to get into the playoffs. Going to take some all kind of things are going to have to break right for that to happen. But uh, yeah, Eagles seem to be kind of coached to the top the East. In the North, the Packers have lost 2 in a row. They've dropped down to 5-3-1. Detroit has stuck back up to the top, tied with the Bears at 6-3. Now, I think, the Eagles hold the tiebreaker over the Seahawks. Seahawks in the West, and the uh, don't remember. Yeah, the Lions at 6-3
Mhm.
hold the tiebreaker over the Bears and the Buccaneers. So, but yeah, the Bears, man, what the heck? I never saw that coming.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I was a big fan of the hire of Ben Johnson and just what he could bring offensively. The defense still in Chicago gives me a lot of concern, but you're starting to see Caleb get more comfortable in that system. They still have a pretty strong run game. I know they've been working in their rookie Kyle Monungai, and so having a kind of a rushing attack first is helping Caleb kind of take the pressure off. But yeah, in shootout games, you don't normally see Chicago win those. And this year, because of the signal caller that they got, they're in those very close games and coming out victorious more than not. So that North is a tough division.
It is, and I picked Detroit to start the year. And I think they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. They're not a perfect squad. They've got some holes and some gaps they need to be mindful of. But something with Caleb, and I said last week that starting to see a little bit of the Caleb now that we saw at USC, where he's getting comfortable, he's caught up with the speed of the game. But I think I heard this, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's his second year, halfway through his second year, so he's played a year and a half. He's on his third head coach and his fourth offensive coordinator in a year and a half.
Yep.
and we expect him to be, be the star quarterback. I mean, that's absurd. But yet here we are. Ben Johnson, I
Yeah.
agree with you. That was a great hire, stealing him away from the in division Lions.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it's stability, and stability is what you need to kind of bring along a young quarterback. And finally, I think they found their guy. So Chicago has a bright future going. I know they want to get a new stadium there in Chicago, so having good play is going to help get them into a better stadium moving forward too.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the planners for Allegiant are the same folks that are doing the planning for the new Bears Stadium. And the drawings of those, the preliminary design sketches are pretty impressive. So I know the folks in Chicago would love to see Soldier Field carried over, the spirit of Soldier Field carried over into this new stadium. So,
Yeah, get a
and
dome. I love outdoor football, but come on now. Yeah, we you gotta get some sort of coverage in the Windy City. So
except the
um
Packers, Lambeau has to exist forever. No
sure,
dome for Green Bay. That's where I draw the line.
sure, sure. But I bet those offenses would appreciate having a dome there in Green Bay. It might
Oh,
help Jordan Love and company score more than 7 points whenever they take the field against teams.
yeah, and I bet if they're asking the players, I bet Caleb Williams is voting for the dome option in Chicago as well. So,
Yeah.
um, anyway, to finish out the standings, Buccaneers are still in the lead in the South at 6-3. Carolina lost last week, but they're still in second at 5-5. Um,
Yep.
do we have a cat crisis?
No, we have a phone dying crisis.
Oh no. Anyway, so
I
in
just
the
wanted to
South,
show the Woodson and Dunbar jerseys, though. To be honest.
nice. Bucks 6-3, Carolina 5-5. Even though they lost last week, the West is going to be a shootout. Seahawks and the Rams are tied atop the division 7-2. 49ers are not too far behind at 6-4. Again, if the um, playoffs started today, the Rams and Seahawks would be in. The Seahawks would take the division right now as things stand. They've got the tiebreaker over the Rams um, by virtue of the fact that they've got a 2-1 NFC West record right now. The Rams have a 1-1. That's all going to even out in terms of how many games they played. They haven't even played the same number of in-division games. So um, anyway, the NFC West is going to be, I think, as much fun coming down the stretch as the AFC West. And we kind of saw that coming in the AFC West. Didn't see it coming as much. I didn't see it coming as much in the NFC West. I don't know what your thoughts were. I know we picked different teams coming out of the West. You picked the Rams all along, right?
Yeah, I did pick the Rams, and yeah, it's kind of a toss up between those two teams, um, in my opinion, going into the year. Um, and I feel like that division kind of has shaped up to to be as competitive as I feel like we thought early going in. Um, of course, Seahawks have a very dominant offense, um, and then that defense. I mean, this past week scoring two defensive touchdowns from good old Demarcus Lawrence. Um,
Oh, trust me, my fantasy team appreciated all the effort of the Seattle defense.
Crazy. And like winning like a game that scored 38 points and your quarterback only has like 6 fantasy points,
Yeah.
in Sam Darnold, it's quite wild. But yeah, that division is going to be fun down the stretch, seeing who comes out on top, because those are multiple well-rounded teams. Unfortunately, San Fran is just dealing with a plethora of injuries.
Yeah, I still can't figure out how they're still sitting at 6-4, uh, given what they've been through this year. If they start to get their players back and productive, they could be nasty down the stretch because they've somehow held on with Mac Jones at the helm. Brock Purdy's probably not going to be full speed at all this year. So yeah, I don't know how they stuck around at 6-4.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, we are, again, I mentioned we went up Mount quarterback last week, and I can't wait to get into the other feature. But did you want to update your um, top five, your Young Bulls top five power rankings for the week?
Yeah, definitely. There has been some movement. Um, so of course the Colts stay atop um, of the top five. Um, they didn't look that great against their opponent this past week, but of course being overseas, you kind of have to give them some grace. Um, I still feel like the Sauce Gardner edition is going to be good, even though Drake London definitely took them to town. Um, but they showed me enough to stay atop. Now number two, do have a faller. And we do also have a riser. So I got Philadelphia coming in at number two. Um, Philadelphia, of course, offensively didn't look great against Green Bay, but I still feel like they have a well-rounded team. I think there still is trouble at bay between their star players, specifically AJ Brown. I'm in the passing attack, but just from the player standpoint, they got so much talent on that roster, and they've put it together. Being the top of the NFC, they're my number two. Now, number three will stay the same. I still got Denver. I think Denver's defense um, is impressive. I think that offense scares me, but I think if you can
Specifically,
hold.
the quarterback, Boone Riley Bow.
Oh, 110%. And now with J.K. Dobbins being questionable, if that running game starts to falter, Bo's going to be asked to do more, and that's a scary situation. Um,
Yep.
but for now, Denver staying number three. Number four, though, I'm going to have to throw in the Patriots. New England's going to rise all the way up. I think New England has found a gym with Drake May. I think he is asserting himself as one of the upper echelon quarterbacks in the league. And then you saw this past week, Trevion Henderson kind of
Yeah.
come along in the run game, and
Kind of,
of course,
kind of what we expected to see out of him.
yeah, it's definitely been a work in progress. Much like many Ohio State, Alabama running backs, it's hard to know how to hit the hole and when to kind of um, put on the burners and when to kind of be patient. And this past week against Tampa Bay, who does have a pretty strong run game, or
Yep.
run defense, um, he exploited them. So New England's definitely my number four, has cracked it. And then I have coming in at number five, I had the Detroit Lions. The Bills have fallen all the way out of my top five. I feel like
That's
their
fair.
inconsistency is something of concern. And I feel like what Detroit has done, both offensively and defensively, um, I think they're a force to be reckoned with. I thought they were going to deal with the loss of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn a lot more, but that talent on that roster really hasn't felt the decline. So
And let's
Detroit
not,
climbs up into my top five.
yeah, and let's not underestimate the effect of Dan Campbell in that locker room. He lost both coordinators. They stumbled a little bit. They weren't looking great, but the fact that he's been able to keep them together, bring the same energy, and bring the Lions back right into the heat of things, I think uh, reflects well on Dan Campbell's leadership in that locker room.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree entirely.
all right. Well, that I have absolutely no quibbles with that. Other than I hate the Broncos, but that's just a Raider thing.
Crazy
All
about the
right. Well,
Bills, though. Crazy about the Bills. Never thought um, they would be declining as hard as they are, but consistency, I just don't see it with that team. And moving forward, they're going to be asking a lot out of Josh Allen. Um, and I don't know if
yeah,
that bodes well.
yeah. And Cook, their running game has been good all year, but Yeah, they're playing down to and that's never a good sign when you're playing down to the level of your competition. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, just a heads up, my don't know that my phone's going to endure this whole time, but we'll figure it out on the fly. I think I'm going to do okay, but for right now, I'm ready to jump in. You'll see that I am wearing my 34 Bo Jackson Raiders tie-dye shirt. That's
Heck
not an
yeah.
accident. I wore it today for a very specific reason. And that specific reason is last week we tackled the quarterbacks. This week we're going to tackle the running backs. No pun intended. I want to hear what you got to say about these guys.
Yeah, yeah. So the way that I have it structured is we're going to go through um, kind of what the top tiers and different tiers look like based on historical players. So I think we'll start at the top. Um, so the gold standard, in my opinion, whenever it comes to running backs, um, is Jim Brown. Jim Brown was everything that you wanted in a running back. Um, he could uh, essentially carry an entire franchise. He was the face of the running back movement of his era. Definitely the best player on his respective team. So that's really what I look for within the top tier. They're surefire Hall of Famers. Have no quibbles about it. And again, they're the face of the running back movement. So essentially, I will start it with who I think is the top of the running back game, in my opinion. So I think that person is still Saquon Barkley. I think he is still the top back in the league. I think whenever you look at what he can do in the run game, the passing game, pass protection, um, you look at that Philadelphia Eagles team, he is the clear cut best player on that roster. Saquon, I feel like, is the poster child of the running back movement. Now, after that, I will go to Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, I feel like, is more of a wide receiver and a running back body. But again, he can do basically anything asked of him. He's
Yeah.
elite in the passing game, elite in the running game. Now, pass protection's not so much, but whenever essentially you can catch anything that comes your way, um, you're a safety blanket for your quarterback, and
Right.
there's no one
Yeah, you
that's
don't want
safer
that
than
guy
Chris.
blocking in the pass game. You want him out in routes. You want him
Right.
out in, oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Now the next guy is the one that's leading the charge this year. That'll be Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's my third best running back. Of course, he uh, essentially is kind of hit or miss whenever it comes to season by season stats. But there's no one that's honestly quicker than him. I feel like at the running back position, in regards to pure speed, um, he can do it all as well. If you look at the Colts roster, he is the best player on that roster too. Then after that, I would have Bijan Robinson still in my tier one.
Already?
Bijan again,
Already?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
Bijan again, best player on that Atlanta Falcons team.
Okay.
You can put him anywhere. He can only do so much though, and with very suspect quarterback play, much like Jonathan Taylor has faced over his early career, it's hard to overcome. But whenever you look at what he does and his impact on that team, Bijan Robinson, in my opinion, is one of the best in the game.
Now,
And
now
then,
you said there's only so much he can do. Is that because of the system he's in?
yeah, well, system he's in, but also the talent that's on that team.
Yeah,
Um, he's carrying the workload and everything, but much like Saquon in New York or Jonathan Taylor, whenever they had essentially Matt Ryan playing quarterback and old Philip Rivers, there's only so much he can do on that team because of the other players around him. And if you
sure.
have bad quarterback play, you got stacked boxes. So
Yeah,
you're kind of very limited in that regard.
yeah.
Now, my last player, and this might be a little bit debatable, but still in my tier one, I have Derrick Henry. I feel like Derrick Henry is one of those players that um, essentially you have to account for whenever he's on the field. He's been the face of the running back movement for quite some years. There is a lot of tread on those tires, so they're starting to slow down. But if you look at this Baltimore Ravens offense, I don't feel like it runs efficiently without him. So I feel like Derrick Henry still cracks into my tier one, but he's unfortunately past his prime and starting to trend towards hanging it up eventually.
But he's still delivering. I will give you that. I'm a little surprised at Jonathan Taylor has dealt with injuries over the past few years. You said, his numbers kind of vary from year to year. I think that's largely because of the injuries. And you look at where he was, say, 2-3 years ago, and compared to this year, he's right. He hasn't lost a step. He was injured and couldn't deliver. Bijan, I'm a little surprised that you've got him up here this high, this early, but I don't hate it. I think he has shown, and that's why I asked the question. I don't think he has any limitations in his game. I think he has limitations based on, like you said, the players around him. So, little surprised you had them up there this high in the Surefire Hall of Famer category, the gold standard, but I don't hate it. I like them both.
Yeah, because if you look at just pure talent right now, I think Bijan has the most talent out of any running back in the National Football League right now. But just the situation he's in, he's not as productive as these top tier guys. Um, but I don't think that that is a lack of who he is. I think if you put him on, the Philadelphia Eagles, you put him on the Indianapolis Colts with that offensive line, he would have a field day and be making, top of the entire running back game in a general. He
Sure.
would be the clear cut number one. But since he's sitting in Atlanta with a shaky quarterback and inconsistent play calling in his career, um, unfortunately he's sitting at my 4 seed.
Why the Michael Penix hate, man? No, that was last week. Let's go on. I love those top five, man. I can't argue with any of them. There's nobody out looking around the league. I've got backups, starters, and backups. There's nobody else that I would say I would plug into that gold standard. Well done. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, would you have Saquon at number one?
Yes, but only because of the dependability of CMC. I think CMC is and has been a focal point of defensive game plans for years, going back to his time in Carolina. The only thing um, that would keep me from putting him at number one is his dependability, his injury history. Saquon doesn't have, I don't think, the length of track record. But the difference that he makes when he's on the field, yeah, I'm totally fine with him being number one. And I gotta love the dog from Yulee, Florida, Derrick Henry. I love him being that gold standard because even at his advanced age of where he's at now, like you said, a lot of miles on the tires, but he can still drop a defensive back or a linebacker with a stiff arm. So yeah, love it. I have no complaints with any of those.
Heck yeah. Now, my next tier is going to be the Ladian Tomlinson tier. So this is the verge of greatness. So this is a three down back who flashes the ability to be a top tier back, but is yet to put together the consistent um, enough track record to be the best of the best. They're surefire Pro Bowl lock, and occasionally you'll see them at the top of the weekly performers of the week. So I got at number 6 in the total rankings, but number 1 in this Ladainian Tomlinson tier is Jahmyr Gibbs. Um, Jahmyr Gibbs, of course, with Detroit, he's not asked to do the heavy, gritty yards. But again, I feel like you could put him down 3 down. But with the system he's in with Detroit and the backup he has in David Montgomery, he's not asked to do that. But that keeps him fresh as well. So Jahmyr Gibbs is on that verge being one of the top tiers. But just with where he's at in the situation with Detroit, he comes in at number in my tier 2. Now, Josh Jacobs is kind of the opposite end. Josh Jacobs is a 3-down back. He's asked to do everything, but I feel like time is starting to catch up with good old Joshy. Um, he still can flash of being a top performer weekly, but that consistency is what drops him down a tier. I feel like still the track record of him, he's one of the best in the league, but of course there's just not a week by week basis that I can guarantee him in that top tier.
Yeah, well, again,
James,
he's another one. He carried such a heavy load in with the Raiders, and then going up over to Green Bay. I think he got to have sort of a new life in the NFC. But he took a heavy pounding with the Raiders. Um, but he's the only one that I might have said needs to be over in that gold category, only as the surefire Hall of Famer. Um, but maybe not. I still have some Josh Jacobs love, so that could be my silver and black bias. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I love him to death. I think he's one of the best 3-down backs. You can essentially have him on the field and not have to worry about a lack of catching, a lack of pass protection. Of course, he's going to get you the hard-earned yards, but I feel like Father Time's catching up with him, and um, yeah, it's tough being in Green Bay whenever the quarterback is also very inconsistent. So, but that's a whole nother thing. Um, Now coming in after Josh Jacobs, I have James Cook. And James Cook is really the consistency. Um, Week by week, he's productive. But I think his level of play, I don't know. Um, if you eliminate him from the Buffalo Bills, would the Bills be non-effective as they are with him on the field? So James Cook, I feel like if he gets more consistent, I feel like he could elevate up, but he's definitely a benefactor of being on a team with Josh Allen
Sure.
that opens up the run game for him. And then
Well,
closing.
they've also got a pretty robust offensive lineup in Buffalo too. Um, so I think that he's benefited from that. I'm a little surprised at that one, but I don't hate it. I'm a little surprised to hear you say you could see him elevate a level. I think for me, he falls squarely into this silver tier.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because essentially he's exactly what you look at Ladian Tomlinson. You look at the stats, and it's like, yes, he's very quality. But then you watch the game, and then essentially it's like James Cook can disappear at times, and the offense still moves without him. So it's like what actually is his um impact on the team? I still feel like he's a phenomenal player, but I think he's definitely a benefactor of being in a system with an MVP, top of the tier quarterback,
Sure.
and in a passing attack as well. Now, Devon Achan is actually in the complete opposite situation
Right.
as James Cook. Um, Devon Achan essentially is the best player on that Miami Dolphins offense. Um, he's he's quicker than lightning. Um, is phenomenal in the passing game, but really the pass protection is what gives me a little quarrel. I feel like he is phenomenal at doing majority of the running back work, but of course to be in that top tier, you got to be a 3-down back. You got to not be able to be pulled off the field because of lack of passing protection. And I feel like Devon Achan just doesn't have that ability. I still feel like he's a Pro Bowl lock. He's phenomenal at what he does. There's just limitations on that ceiling for me.
Okay. Little surprised that he's that high, but I hear what you say. Given that he's having to carry that that entire Miami Dolphins offense, and not entirely, but he's having to
I
carry a
mean,
large load,
basically,
yeah, down in Miami. So I see your logic there.
yeah.
All right.
And I feel like if you plug Devon Achan in with other teams, um, he would be equally as productive. But he's in a horrible situation in Miami and still being very productive. But much like Jahmyr Gibbs, you're not really seeing him much in those passing down situations if it's not him going out of the backfield catching. Um, and I just need to see a lot more for him to be elevated. But I feel like the sky's the limit for that kid.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't disagree. What I just think, yeah, I hear you. I agree with you. But he's not going to pick up the pass rush by like Josh Jacobs, for example. But again,
100%.
like you said about CMC, you don't want him picking up pass rush. You want him out in the field. You want him out in formation or out in a route in a pattern. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, told you it was a long
No,
day.
I agree entirely. Now, my next one is going to be the Bo Jackson tier. So this is going to be the potential tier. So you can see the greatness, but all these players either lack the ability to put it all together, with it being injuries, consistency, and also situations as well. So these are just players that their ceiling, I feel like right now, is a little bit capped because of those situations. So leading off this tier is going to be Ashton Genty.
The
Um,
dudes,
yeah, Ashton Genty, I feel like, is a phenomenal back. Um, but again, just the situation he's in right now, and kind of his age and learning the game, that he's got a lot of potential, incredible potential. But got to see more um, of him and his development in order to see him continue to climb. Um, Now, next one's going to be Kieran Williams. Um, Kieran Williams is in a phenomenal situation, but consistency is the issue. Some weeks he'll just disappear, and maybe that's because he's in a pass-heavy offense and just not needed as much. But that situation, I feel like, um, it hurts his ceiling. Bucky Irving, same situation, but I feel like his issue is more with injuries. I feel like with his size and his workload as well too, um, it's definitely put a strain on him. So I can't elevate him more than where he's at. If he's healthy, he's a phenomenal back. He's much like Devon Achan, but just the injuries um, are what just caps him at this level. Brees Hall is another situational back, just in a putrid offense with New York. All the ability in the world, but unfortunately, just the situation he's in, he'll disappear, and maybe that's because he's not as motivated to play jet football. Um, but Brees Hall is a clear cut. He has all the potential in the world, just hadn't put it together. Kenneth Walker's another. Kenneth Walker has um, all the intangibles you want out of a running back. He has the size, the speed, um, the motor. Um, but then all of a sudden he'll disappear. And then whenever he doesn't disappear, it's injuries that really hurt him. Um, and Kenneth Walker's ceiling, I feel like, is capped off um, at where he's at. And sometimes his backup running back overshines him. And much like Ezekiel Elliott, the potential was always there, but production didn't always equal out. Quit now. Now the next three are going to be all rookies, and these rookies I feel like have essentially elevated themselves to fit into this tier based on what I've seen so far. Um, and that leads off with Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins is a player that is a super strong back, can be a 3-down back. You saw his passing ability in college. We haven't seen it much with Cleveland so far, um, but I feel like Quinshon Judkins has all the potential in the world to be one of those high quality backs. But unfortunately, he plays for the Cleveland Browns. And whenever you play for the Cleveland Browns, unless you're Jim Brown, you're kind of capped at that situation.
Yep.
Um, Next one's going to be Cam Scattaboo. Cam Scattaboo injuries really is what hurts him. He runs like a Tasmanian devil. He just wants to essentially put his head into your chest and run through you. But I feel like that style of running can only go so far, and you're already seeing it with injuries. And
Yep.
I feel like if you continue with that, um, the potential will always be there, but longevity is not. And then my last one's going to be Trevion Henderson, and that potential is extremely high. Um, I feel like we haven't seen him much as a 3-down back, um, and that really falls onto pass protection predominantly. He's not as physical whenever it comes to that regard, but all the ability in the world. He is a super fast back. He can catch the ball with the best of them, but there are just elements of his game that kind of have me concerned for what his ceiling is going to look like. But yeah, that's my Bo Jackson tier 3.
A little surprised to see Scattaboo up there, mainly because there's such a limited sample size. Obviously, he's out now. A nasty injury a couple weeks ago. I loved what I saw. Loved the energy. Loved what the energy that he brought to the team.
Yeah.
Him and Jackson Dart, who was also kind of full steam ahead and also out with an injury. But so I'm a little surprised to see him up there. But of these let's say 6, 8 guys, who do you see as being most ready, or which one do you think will be the next one to elevate to the silver level out of the bronze Bo Jackson tier?
Ooh, if I had to say, I would probably say the one that leads it. That's going to be Ashton Genty. I feel like if the Raiders start to evolve their offense into a more run first offense, which that includes, bolstering that offensive line and getting a more stronger offensive line in front of them, which will help get him to the second level. I think that essentially what I've seen so far is very reminiscent of a Bijan Robinson, of a Jonathan Taylor, of a Josh Jacobs, one of those players that you can depend on essentially week by week and never have to take off the field because he's physical in the pass protection already. Um, he has surefire hands in the passing game. We haven't seen
Yeah,
much of it, but I think that more is just easing them in. But running the ball wise, specifically whenever you get within the 5 yard line, he's gonna fight hard for yards.
he's
And I
foolproof.
feel yes, I feel like his ability, the sky's the limit for him. But I do want to add with Cam Scattaboo, this is the Bo Jackson tier, and I
That's
feel
fair.
like there's
That
there's not a player that embodies Bo Jackson more, unfortunately, than Cam Scattaboo, and that is just a player that absolutely wants to dominate you and let you know that he's dominating you,
and we,
and
we both know we all know what happened with Bo and why he didn't go into ascend to the Jim Brown tier. Injuries are a real thing that running backs have to deal with. So yeah, that's true.
110%. But yeah, that's my tier number 3. A lot of potential there. I think all these backs, you put them on any team, that team is going to have very productive running games.
Okay.
Now My next tier is going to be tier 4. So this is the land of the pretty good. And in my opinion, a player that was pretty good was Fred Taylor. Good old Jacksonville Jaguars, Fred Taylor. Um, quality running back, but there's nothing special about this tier.
I,
Um,
I, I
uh,
I have to tell you, having lived in Jacksonville, surrounded by longtime Jacksonville Jaguar season ticket holders, they do not view Fred Taylor objectively.
well,
They view Fred Taylor as on par with Emmett, and they will bring that to the table, that argument, as a more objective supporter of the Jaguars in the past, and even still. I 100% agree with you. Fred Taylor was just really pretty damn good.
pretty damn
Never
good.
great, was never
Nope.
going to be great, but he was pretty damn good.
Yeah, nothing special about it. And I think, and I know this is a topic for another time, but I think if we're talking about Jaguars top running backs, Maurice Jones-Drew was a little bit better than Fred Taylor. And I
100%.
don't
Yep.
know if that is universally accepted within the Jags community, just because of who the guy Fred Taylor was. Um, but there's nothing special about Fred Taylor besides being a dependable running back. So of course the production in this tier is going to be solid, but nothing great. They need tremendous support to flash. But if you pay them too much, this will definitely sink your team. Um, so this tier is going to lead off with the current Cowboys running back, Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, nothing special. Um, he has good years. Um, you could probably depend on 800 yards from him. He'll get you touchdowns. That's about it. Don't pay him more than you need to, because if you do, you're going to sink your team. Chase Brown's another one. Chase Brown has all the hype in Cincinnati, but consistency is just not there. Um, Chase Brown, on in every sense of the word, should be more productive based on the receivers and quarterback he has around him, and we just don't see it.
Yep.
Now, next one is going to be another Jaguar, and that's Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne is nothing special.
Perfect Fred Taylor comp.
110%. Nothing
Yep.
special. Quality running back. Great college running back. But yeah, he's okay. He's good. You want him on your team. Don't pay him good money, because again, you're strapping yourself to just all right. And those that are underneath them, you can get that equal level of production without that amount of money. Another one that is, of course, gone through the Fred Taylor experience is David Montgomery. David Montgomery was highly regarded with Chicago, and then Chicago kind of ran sour, um, and because of injuries and just ability as well too, he has fallen into this category because he's really good in short yardage, but he's just good. You don't want to pay him high money, um, because you can find many other backs that can do equal what he can do and a lot more, especially for that price tag. Another one, just based on injuries and overall running ability, is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is a quality pass catcher, but we've never seen him dominate in the running game. Um, and you always want to bank on Alvin Kamara dominating, um, but he just never does. Um, and we saw flashes of Alvin Kamara early in his career, whenever he was kind of in that Jahmyr Gibbs kind of role, when he had Mark Ingram on that team. But whenever he's asked to be the guy and paid the guy money, you just don't get that level of production.
That's
And
fair.
that's why, in my opinion, that's the Fred Taylor category. Aaron Jones is another one. Aaron Jones got that tremendous paycheck, um, both in Green Bay and in Minnesota, and the amount of money he is paid to his production You just don't get the bang for the buck there. He's a phenomenal pass catcher. Um, he is a hard-nosed runner, but there's always injuries that limits him year in and year out. And then also productivity. Um, there will be weeks that he just disappears. And shout out to the University of Texas at El Paso. But Aaron Jones is for sure in the Fred Taylor category. Another one is Jalen Warren with Pittsburgh. He's just all right. He's good. Not much to say about him. DeAndre
Yep.
Swift is another. Paid good money. Um, he shouldn't. You can get equal to better production as Chicago essentially is experiencing with Kyle Monangai. DeAndre Swift is just good. Um, Zach Charbonnet is another one that's rising on me. But Zach Charbonnet, of course, you don't get to see him elevate any further because of who is above him in Kenneth Walker. So he's just okay. Um, and in that same regard is Rico Dowdle, another player that always has had someone above him, um, and his ceiling is kind of capped. And you just don't want to pay quality money to a player like Rico Dowdle because again, production you can find that for much cheaper um, than what is Rico Dowdle's getting paid right now. And then J.K. Dobbins is the last one. Had all the potential in the world, just never put it together. Injuries really derailed his career. Whenever he's on the field, he's great. He just very rarely will ever be on the field. Every year he gets hurt, um, and you just don't want to throw money at a player that just will be in street clothes more than he is on the field. So that's my Fred Taylor category, the land of pretty good.
Well, and I like this, and the way I'm sort of couching this in my mind is these are the guys you don't want to be paying RB1 money to.
Right.
All of them looking down the roles they're asked to play. David Montgomery behind Jamar Gibbs, or Jameer Gibbs, Zach Charbonnet behind Kenneth Walker. I mean, these guys as the number two are they enhance your offense dramatically. But if
Mhm.
they're the guy, and I was gonna fist fight you over Alvin Kamara until you put it the way that you did. When it was him and Mark Ingram, it made it much easier for Alvin Kamara to shine. And a lot of his dynamism came out of the backfield catching passes. Um,
100%.
so yeah,
He's never had a year that he has rushed for more than 1,000 yards ever in his entire career.
that blows my mind. That's one of those Mandela effect kind of things.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I was ready to say, what? He's a, but yeah, you're absolutely right. He's great if he's part of a tandem. He's going to give you something that the other guy can't. So yeah, love the list. Yeah, none of these guys would I want to pay RB1 money to.
And as you can tell, there is a ton of Fred Taylors in the league. There's a
Yep.
ton of really good running backs that you can find for. I mean, Javonte Williams is what on a 1 year, $3 million deal. I think Rico Dowdle is on a 1 year, like the $6 million deal.
What's
You can.
Javante getting paid?
I want to say 3 mil. I
Yeah.
want to say he's only at 1 year, $3 million, making less than what Rico Dowdle's making. But again, like level of production, they're equally the same in my opinion.
Yep.
I think if you had Rico Dowdle right now in the Cowboys' backfield, he would be as productive as Javonte Williams, maybe a little bit more, just based on being able to still have semi-fresh legs.
Yeah.
Um, but you look at what even Rico's doing in Carolina, um, you're still getting better production than you have in Chuba Hubbard. Um, and again, like these are players that are going like day 5, day 6 of free agency that you can get for very cheap, as compared to even others in this tier like a Travis Etienne or Aaron Jones that like Alvin Kamara that are making a significant amount of the cat. And that production is equally the same as others in this tier, in my opinion.
Yep, that's fair. Like it.
Yep. Now, next one is going to be the Reggie Bush tier. Now, Reggie Bush, of course, is one of my favorite players of all time. He will always be young Reggie Bush in my mind. So this is too young to tell. Um, Now, everyone loves a young running back, but we just haven't seen enough yet. Now, there are only 4 running backs that crack into this list. I'm not really going to go over too much of them because of just where they're at in their careers. But R.J. Harvey with the Broncos, Amarian Hampton with the Chargers, Woody Marks with the Texans, and Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt with Commanders. All
Yeah,
players that could be good, could be, career backups. Um, Too early to tell.
yeah, that's fair. I like that category, and I know your passion for Reggie Bush. First jersey you ever got was
That's
a
a
Reggie
fact.
Bush thing. So yeah, but I like that category.
Yep. And he'll always be rookie New Orleans Saints Reggie Bush. Um, and it's
Flying
always
through,
too young to tell. Yes.
yeah,
Flying through
flying
the
through
air.
the yeah,
Now, the final tier for the running backs list is going to be the Trent Richardson tier. So this is the wasteland. This is you need to find a replacement as soon as possible if this guy is on your team. This tier has a lot of players that are either sitting in RB1 or have been RB1 and moved down the depth chart, but still making significant money. So this is Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, Chuba Hubbard, Rashard White, Isaiah Pacheco, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson, and Tyrone Tracy. All these players, if you have them on your team, you need to find a replacement as soon as possible. And majority of these teams already are either looking or have found that replacement on the roster.
Now, do you mean if you have them on your team as the RB1, you need to find a replacement ASAP? Or because these are all RB1s on their teams, right? Well, no, Ramondre's not. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
Ramondre before his injury was. Now,
yeah,
I will be completely honest. He was the one that gave me the um, hardest kind of track record to know where to place. Because Ramondre Stevenson struggled to beat out Zeke when Zeke was on that New England Patriots team.
yeah,
Um, and even whenever he was given the keys, they still went out and spent a second round pick on a player like Trevion Henderson. Um, so his ceiling, I feel like, is one that is limited, but his floor I feel like is higher than most of these players on this team. Now, any of the ones that are on this tier, like Nick Chubb or Tony Pollard, um, or a Tyron Tracy or an Isaiah Pacheco, these are players that I feel like you can even find a younger back that can probably give you better production at this point in their careers. So they're
yeah.
just hanging on by a thread.
The,
Um, so I feel like you need to find a replacement for them.
there's two things about this category that hurt my heart. Number one is Nick Chubb. I'm a big Nick Chubb guy, and I know why he's here. I mean, he has taken a pounding. He's at the downside of his career. If he's your RB1, you got to find somebody else because he just can't keep carrying the load that he has in the past. The other thing that hurts my heart is the category title itself. I get it. I absolutely am 100% with you. But as a huge Trent Richardson fan back when he was in high school, we're the same high school as Emmett Smith, Scambia High School in Pensacola. I was living down there when he was in high school there, watching him go from there up to Alabama. I'm a big Trent Richardson guy. But you're right. When he got to the NFL, he was not the guy to be your RB1. So,
Nope.
yeah, those are two things that hurt my heart about this category and this list. But I can't argue with any of them.
Yeah,
Was a
and I
little
will say putting Nick Chubb in this tier hurts, but I feel like he hurt himself whenever he didn't retire a Brown. He should have just hung it up and not try to come back from that injury, because the way he's looked with the Texans, it's just hurt his track record. It looked like Emmitt Smith with the Arizona Cardinals. It's like
Yeah.
you just should have known when to hang it up. And unfortunately, injuries have caught up with Nick Chubb.
Yeah, well, he's had some. What is he? He's had 2 ACLs, I think, and I mean he's taken a pounding.
Well,
So
he had 2 ACLs before he even came out of Georgia. Um,
yeah,
and
that's right. That's right.
and even in the NFL, he's still, had knee troubles, and all the way from even last year. And he
Yeah,
just should have hung him up. It hurt
yeah.
to put him on this list.
Can't argue with you there. That is, yeah, can't argue with you there. And he only has 7,200 career yards. That seems odd, or 7,245. That seems lower than I would have expected. But yeah, I'm a big Nick Chubb guy. Anyway, I love the list, man. I don't even have any quibbles to come back at you. And I tried. Yeah, good job, man.
Hey, heck
Well,
yeah.
well done.
Running backs are fun. Running backs are fun. You can win a lot of games with a really good one, um, but you won't lose too many if you don't have a really quality one. So
Yeah, and you can, as we both well know, you can trash your roster if you overpay guys. That it's rare that. Not saying don't draft a running back in the first round. Ashton Genty at number 6 this year, I think, is a good example of the right guy. Yeah, you absolutely want to take him in the first round. But there's also, as you get down into the other tiers, when you're looking at RB2 or depth in the running back room, get those guys in the later rounds. So,
yeah, 100%,
all right, man.
100%, and that's why the potential has a lot of young running backs in it. Um, because if you get in that tier 3 and lower, you don't want to pay them good money because that is
Yeah, you're
sinking your team.
not gonna win games. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, good stuff, man. I love it. Now, what are we gonna do? Wide receivers next?
Sure.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
some point we're gonna have to take a look at the defensive side, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this theme. I like this.
Now, what I think for wide receivers we could do is both do lists and then compare both of our lists to each other.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Well, let's move over to. I loved what we did last week with the rapid fire on the picks for the week. Couple of things I want to call out: the surprise line of the week and the game of the week. The surprise line of the week to me is Kansas City favored on the road at Denver. I get it, I think. I understand why, but I'm a little surprised that the betting money is favoring Kansas City going up into Mile High. The
Yeah, it's
game of
Patrick
the week,
Mahomes.
yeah, that's it. The batters love it. The other one, the game of the week, to me is clear. Top 2 teams in the NFC West. Seattle at the Rams. Battle for first place. The Rams are laying 3.5 at home, which means that the Sharps in Vegas think that it's going to be a really close game. I am excited about seeing this one. Most excited, of course, about Cowboys Raiders for personal selfish reasons. But yeah, those are the two things that jumped out at me about the matchups this week. Surprise line of the week, the slow, and then the game of the week.
Yeah.
All right. You want to rapid fire this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Oh,
right.
I got one caveat with my surprise of the week is that the NFL hates Spain, because poor Madrid having to deal with Washington versus Miami. But we'll get to
Oh,
that. We'll get to that.
oh my God. That was horrible. All right. Let's open it up. We got week 11 projections. New England as Thursday night, New England or the Jets at New England. The Patriots are laying 12.5 points. Who you got?
Oh, it's New England easy.
Yeah.
Jets are marching towards that top 5 pick, but it's not looking like it's going to be number 1 overall.
Yeah, I've got the Patriots winning this one big as well. The Madrid Bowl, the We Hate Spain the NFL game that they're sending over there. Miami's favored by 2.5 as the home team in Madrid. Who you got?
Yeah, it's I got to go with Miami. Washington without Jaden Daniels is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I've got Miami as well. I think it's going to be a low scoring, really ugly game. I don't care to watch it.
Hmm.
Carolina at Atlanta, the number 2 team in the uh, South, battling the number 3 team. I think is where Atlanta's sitting right now.
Sure.
Big-
Give me Carolina.
yeah.
Like what I've seen from the Panthers so far.
All right. Well, this is our first where we split. Atlanta's favored by 3.5, so they're basically getting the home line. I get the Falcons taking this simply because the Falcons look so dramatically different when they're playing at home. I think that they've got more talent on their roster, top to bottom, than the Panthers. So I've got Atlanta winning this one 27-24. It's going to be a good game. Next up, Tampa Bay going into Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 5.5. Do we have any confidence in the Bills?
I don't have confidence in the Bills. Unfortunately, I don't have any confidence in Tampa Bay. I think it's going to be the Bills.
Yeah, I've got the Bills winning at home too. Tampa's just too beat up.
Yeah.
Houston at Tennessee. Houston laying almost a touchdown. They're favored by 6.5 on the road at Tennessee. Sound right?
Yeah, Houston's one of the best defenses in the league, and I think that's going to spell trouble for Cam Ward and company.
Yeah, I think they're starting to find their stride on offense a little bit too. So
Yep.
next up, the one that could be a good game, Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota favored by 3 going into this.
Crazy. I don't see it that way. Give me Chicago.
All right, I got the Vikings. We're taking this one 27-24. Packers at the Giants. Packers laying 7. They're favored by 7. Is it going to be that close? Jackson Dart on the bench. Cam Scattaboo on the bench.
It's Jameis Winston time. He's been elevated. Russell Wilson will now be quarterback 3 on that roster. So we get to see good old Jameis lose to the Green Bay Packers. Give me the Packers.
When is Russ going to take the hint? I've got the Packers as well. I don't see any good coming out of the Giants season.
Russ has started a cameo, so now you can pay to have him essentially record videos for you. So that's what he's doing.
God, that hurts your heart. Well, hate to see somebody go out like that.
Mr.
Even,
Unlimited.
even if it's Russ. Okay, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh in the battle in the NFC or the AFC North. Pittsburgh's favored by 5.5 at home.
Joe Burrow is coming back by Thanksgiving. Excited for that. Give me Pittsburgh at home.
Yep, I got Pittsburgh as well. The Chargers at Jacksonville. Chargers favored by 2.5.
Yeah, give me the Chargers. I don't like what I've been seeing from Jacksonville so far. Shouldn't have played Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. He's out for the year.
Yeah, unfortunately, hate to see that as well. I've got the Jaguars taking this one at home, 27-20. My game of the week, Seattle at the Rams. Rams favored by 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I got to go with the one that I picked at the beginning of the year. Give me the Rams.
All right, I've got the Seahawks winning a really close one. This one will be decided by less than a field goal, or by a field goal or less. I've got the Seahawks taking this one, 31-28. San Francisco at Arizona.
Yeah, give me San Fran. Arizona, I just don't like what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't liked them all year. I've got the 49ers as well.
Oh, I
Baltimore.
liked them against Dallas. They looked really good.
I hear you. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore favored by 8.5.
Yeah, this is a practice for Baltimore. Baltimore wins.
Yep, I got them winning big. 8.5 isn't nearly enough points for them to lay. Next up, Kansas City at Denver. Again, Kansas City favored by 3.5 on the road.
Yeah, I see it that way too. This offense for Denver is atrocious. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are still starting to find their stride. I've got the Chiefs as well, up winning by 3. Sunday night game, Detroit at Philadelphia. Possible sneak preview of the NFC Championship game, maybe?
Yeah, there's a strong possibility. Give me the underdogs. I'm going to go with the Lions on this one.
Like it. I picked the Eagles, but it's going to be a close game, and I would prefer to see the Lions win this one. Finally, the real game of the week. Dallas, your beloved Dallas Cowboys, traveling to Las Vegas to take on my beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Dallas favored by 3.5. Could this be the ugliest defensive game of the year?
Yeah, you want to talk about atrocious coordinators? Chip Kelly versus Matt Eberflus. Horrible. Who can out dumb each other? But this is the Marshawn Nealon game. I think Dallas is going to win it.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I think so too. We saw Geno banged up last week. Don't know how he's going to come back. Um, yeah, the Raiders' offense is just a hot soup sandwich right now. Chip Kelly is, yeah, goodness gracious. Much as I hate to say it, I got the Cowboys winning this too. Either way, we will be there. I in my snake number 12, Yama in her Micah number 11, huh?
With a protest.
With a protest, and we will be carrying. I'll ever get a tattoo, tear tattoo, and we will be rocking the wedding gift, the house divided Cowboys Raiders flag. We're taking it into the game with us.
Heck yeah.
So
Very
be
cool.
on the lookout when you're watching that game Monday night.
Very cool.
Dude, this was we overcame adversity. We overcame Holiday Inn internet strength, and we managed to pull it off. My phone stuck around long enough, kept enough charge. Yeah, this is how committed. This is how committed we are to bringing this quality entertainment product to the world in Old Dog Young Bull.
Absolutely. And if Nico can be fired, so can Jerry Jones.
There you go, man. We can dream. We can always dream. All right, man. Go silver and black.
Go silver and blue.
Peace.
This is the Patchouli Podcast Network.